Rosie.net is here. Today I would like to introduce you our new yarn. The name of the yarn is Plush Chenille. We had a little bit of it before, a few months ago. It was sold right away. It was like a sample order. So now we have it back. It's a little bit different colors. Mauve is the same color. Ivory is the same color. We also have now beautiful blush. And we also have a beautiful maroon. We have a little bit of a tan color left, but it's very few, so I will not be even showing it to you because that's the 4 major colors. Today we will be using beautiful blush color. This Plush Chenille is made with 50% acrylic, 50% polyester, unlike Chenille yarn, which is 100% polyester. That gives this beautiful plush feeling to this yarn. It's extremely, extremely soft. If you want to make a baby blanket or softest blanket ever for your mom for Mother's Day or for yourself, that is the yarn for you. So we will be using blush color. You will need 4 skeins, and what we will be making this beautiful pattern that is called basket weave. You can see how beautiful this pattern is, and if you follow my videos, if you watched the video and made my previous pattern in basket weave, that was very simple one. This one is a little bit more difficult. It's more for intermediate hand knitter, but if you follow the pattern, I will have this pattern written down for myself, and I will be following when I will show you how to do it, and I will have it on the screen, and then it will be underneath the video. You will need to write it down, place in front of you, and then follow it, because this is not just a simple pattern that you can make without following the pattern. So again, this is a beautiful basket weave. You see how beautiful it looks. The blanket is 35 by 60, guys, because this yarn is 10 ounces, not 8 ounces. It's longer. You will need only 4 skeins. There's 4 skeins for the blanket, 35 by 60. So if you're ready, let's get started. Okay, guys, let's get started. So this is our pink Plush Chenille, and it's very, very nice and soft. It's a different feeling than regular chunky Chenille. So we are starting with a number of stitches multiple to 8 plus 5. So we will be starting with 21 stitches. And the same as with the other yarn, I will make a simple knot on the end like that. Although this yarn was made very differently, so you see that it's not really unraveling on the end like it could be with the other yarn. So anyway, starting with 21 stitches. Working yarn, and this is working yarn. This is our tail. Working yarn on the right, and it goes on the top like that. Insert your hand, grab working yarn, pull it out. This is our first stitch, guys. We will pull working yarn down a little bit to make it about 1.5 inches, and we will keep it this size. So what we'll be doing now, we will be casting on 21 stitches. To cast on, you're holding your left hand on the bottom of the stitch over here. Insert your right hand, grab working yarn, and pull it out. Try to keep the stitches of the same, approximately the same size. Then you're moving your left hand and holding the stitch on the bottom, inserting your hand and grab working yarn, pull it out. And this will be your next stitch. Move your left hand, insert right hand inside, grab working yarn, pull it out. And now keep doing this way until you have 21 stitches. Okay, we have 21 stitches now, guys. So what we will be doing next, this is our chain. See, this is working yarn. We are turning this chain on another side like that. And we will be knitting these little knots in the middle of the stitch. This is the middle part of the stitch. So this is our stitch already. We're not doing anything with this first one. We're finding this knot in between of top and bottom of the stitch. And we are gonna purl this first row, guys. I have this pattern written here, and you will see it on the side of this video, and I also put it underneath the video. Make sure to have it in front of you and follow it, because otherwise you will be lost. I made a few mistakes making this pattern because it's not the easiest one. Okay, so now we're purling the first row. Let me show you how I am doing purl stitch, and it's the same for all stitches on this row. So we're lifting this stitch, part of the stitch up, and then the working yarn goes in front of it, and you're literally pushing it through that knot. See, look again. So we're lifting the knot, the part of the stitch that looks like a knot. Then working yarn goes up front, in front of this knot that we lifted, and then you're just literally pushing it through. So that's how we are purling our first row, all 21 stitches, because this is how this pattern goes. So with this pattern, guys, we will be knitting it from the back. So when we knit it, then you will turn the blanket on another side, and that's where it will look beautiful, like that basket weave that I just showed you. So usually we have the front of the blanket in front of us, but with this pattern it will be the back of the blanket. So make sure you follow the pattern. You can also use some markers that you would know which row you're making, because it's very easy to switch from one row to another and make a mistake. So in this pattern, unlike regular hand knitting, like in this, so we're done with the first row. Second row, it says knit 5, purl 3. So K, it's knit, P, it's purl. When we will be making the next row, because we will be knitting from the right side, we will be reading this pattern from the right to the left. So you're reading the pattern where you are going, that direction where you're going. So on the second row, we're on the second row here, the pattern is read from left to the right. On the third row, we will be reading it from the right to the left. Might be a little bit confusing, but with a little bit of practice, we can do it. So knit 5 stitches. So for knitting, insert your fingers inside the stitch, the working yarn on the back, grab working yarn, pull it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now it says purl 3, so we will be purling 3. Working yarn goes on the up front, on the top of the stitches, and the 3 stitches will be purling. You're holding the stitch with your left hand and pushing the working yarn through the stitch. This is our purled stitch, guys. 1, 2, 3. Next, our pattern says 5 knit, so we're knitting 5 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then it says repeat from the star. It means that we will be repeating starting from here. Purl 3, knit 5. So we're purling 3 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, and we are knitting 5. So this will be our first row. Actually, it's a second row, when first row when we started the pattern. Now, third row, repeat row number 2. You see that row number 2 says knit 5, purl 3, but we're reading from the right to the left because this is the direction we're going. I am not knitting this first stitch because it's already a knitted stitch. It looks like knitted. It will look better this way on the side. So 5, knit, and then purl 3, 1, 2, 3, and now knit 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, purl 3, and then we will go to knit 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, this is our pattern. See, guys, we're following our pattern. Row number 4, we're repeating the previous row. So we're keeping this knitted stitch here. We're moving to the second one. So it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now we are purling 3 as our pattern says. 1, 2, 3. So we keep doing the same way for the whole row because we're basically knitting the same 3 rows, second, third, and fourth. So this is our third, and on the row number 4 we will repeat this row again. Okay, guys, so we are done with 4 rows, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So row number 5, we will need to purl all the stitches. When we're purling, we will not be keeping the stitch like that because it looks like a knitted stitch, so we will purl it like that. So take the stitch with your left hand and push working yarn through, and do it for all 5, and then all 3 here, and for the whole row we're purling all rows, guys. Purling, and we will be then moving to the second part of the pattern, which starts with the row number 6, and it will be a little bit different than first 4 rows. That's why I said if you want to have a marker and put it on each row we're knitting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and it will be much easier not to make a mistake. So now we're on row number 6. It says knit 1, purl 3, and then knit 5. You see, if you followed my video and made a blanket in simple basket weave, it was much simpler. It was just 3 knitted, 3 purled. This one is very different, but this looks very different and I think cooler than the other one. So now we will repeat from the start. So we're purling 3 and knitting 5. So literally for the next few rows we will be following the pattern the same as done in the first row, and actually this is the row number 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 3 purled, and 1 knit. Okay, now repeat row number 6, only we will be reading it from this direction, so it will be So this will be row number 7. It will repeat row number 6, and I think so. There is one stitch missing here. It will be K1, so need one over here on the very last stitch, so in a row number 6. So now row number 7, we will repeat number 6, so we will start with this one stitch knitted, and because it's already knitted, we will keep it as is, or you can knit it if it will be easier for you this way. And then starting from what we were doing with this row, P3, so purl 3, and then 5 knitted, and then 3 purled again, so it's the same as the other row, 5 knitted. So I see it's not the easiest pattern, and I think you can read it actually from both sides. Yeah, so row number 7, we just made this pattern, and we were reading it this way, but knitting it other way. So that's how we'll be doing it, guys. Row number 8, repeat row 7 or the same previous one. First knit, 3 purl. It's actually how your stitches are laying here. You can just follow it. And then 5 knit, and then 5/5, and then 3 purl, and then so the hardest part, guys, is the first row when you're switching. Then you're just following the stitches. You're just knitting the same stitches as in the previous row. So the hardest row will be row 2 and row number 6. That's the rows that you need to be really careful. So now when we're done with row 6, 7, and 8, we will need to purl all rows. So row number 9 start from row 1. So we are purling all stitches. So we're taking the stitch and we're pushing yarn through, and we're doing it for all stitches in this row, which is 21. So that's pretty much it, guys. You just follow this pattern, and as I said, the pattern is underneath the video. It's written there, printed there, and if you want to write it down and place it in front of you and then just follow it, that's how I'm doing it, because it's really easy to mix up the stitches. Here we are. So now I will be just going through all these rows one more time. Knit 5, purl 3, knit 5, so everything how it's in the pattern. And as I said, the front part of the blanket, that's how it will look like. That's where the whole beauty is, because the back doesn't look as beautiful. So you already see the pattern forming. It's really beautiful. It's really beautiful on the whole blanket. So the back part is not as beautiful, although it looks kind of interesting. So I will be following the pattern, and I will be using 4 skeins, guys. And the blanket will be 35 by 60, because these skeins are 10 ounces, so you will need less of them than with the other yarn, with the Chunky Chenille yarn. So follow the pattern, and then I will come back and I will show you how to finish the blanket. Okay, guys, so I'm done with all 4 skeins, You see how beautiful it looks on the back too? It looks much more beautiful up front over here. I will show when I've finished. So now we will just need to cast off the blanket. And to cast off, you will need to leave 3 widths of the blanket. So it will be 1, 2, and 3. So 3 widths, it will be enough to cast off, okay? So to cast off, we're taking 2 stitches together and we are pushing working yarn through. So we're basically knitting these 2 together. Now you have 1. Now working yarn is on the back. Add 2nd stitch. You have 2 stitches on your fingers and now knit these 2 together. And we will keep doing the same way, knitting 1 stitch at a time, 1 on your fingers, add another, knit 2, you have 1, add another, you have 2, and keep knitting 2 stitches together until you are at the end of the row. Okay, here we are, guys. We have 2 last stitches here. We are putting this tail inside. We are knitting them, and we have 1 stitch left. See, I'm completely out of the yarn, so keep this tail out, and the tail needs to go inside this last stitch, and then you're pulling gently, and here's the end of the blanket. Now we can just weave in this end and hide it behind the stitches like that. Oh, it's coming out, so let's hide it between the other stitches. Here you go. Now you cannot see it. So now we can actually see the back of the blanket and how beautiful this pattern looks. So look at this, guys. Isn't it nice? This beautiful basket weave pattern. So please, if you like it, place a like on this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel. We have new videos every week. Visit our website bcozy.net and find this yarn and many other beautiful yarns. And I hope to see you back at our YouTube channel. Stay warm and be cozy.